up? What's up? What's up? This is episode 13 of Indigo's Corner. Indigo's Corner. And today on the show, we have Paragon Don. I'm sure you've heard of his music, seen his posts, anything like that. You've heard of him before. How you doing today, man?
Good. I hope you are. Thank you for having me on.
Oh yeah, no problem, no problem. Real quick, want to give another shout out to Cage Creation, working on the merchandise. All of this is coming soon.
I hear
Beware for
that's
real. Appreciate it, appreciate it, appreciate it. So man, just tell the people where you're from. Give us a little bit about your background.
I am from Winston-Salem, born and raised. I am a part of a collective called Steady Hyperactive that is based out of Winston-Salem. So we've been doing shows and things around here for quite some time now. We performed at the Ram Cat, various places in like downtown Winston. Did some things in Charlotte before. I'm the Blind Tiger. So it's really, we've just been trying to continue to expand and put out as many things, work with as many people as we can.
What was it like growing up in Winston?
Um, Winston was interesting because I feel like growing up, a lot of people were like, yeah, Winston too small. Like, I can't wait till I get older so I can move out or move and live somewhere else. And understandably, but I also feel like it's not really a Winston thing. I just feel like people don't understand, like, when you live in a certain place for a certain amount of time, like, we could have lived in Houston. It's just when you live in a certain place majority of your life, it's not really about the place itself. It's just getting used to something. But really, because I was going to tech for a while and I was working, instead of going to like a university somewhere, it was really more about finding a community that I like could appreciate Winston in more, and finding the things that I weren't exposed to when I was younger. I mean, I knew Winston was more of an arts-based city, but once I finally got into the arts, seeing all these things that they had to offer was it was really nice. It really made me see that this isn't something that I had to leave to thrive in. Of course, living somewhere else would be nice, but it was something like we can make something happen here and expand from that instead of going somewhere else and then trying to bring something back here.
What was some of your early inspiration like growing up?
Um, as I think like musically, well, as far as like my musical taste, definitely my parents, my brother. Um, my mom got me heavily into like R&B. My dad got me heavily into like old school rap type stuff, like around like 80s, 90s type thing. And my brother is what really introduced me to like new age stuff. Like I did not know about anything that was really going on at the time, until he introduced me to like Drake, Kendrick, and Cole at like the same time. So I remember listening to Overly Dedicated and Comeback Season and all of J. Cole's old mixtapes. Like, and I was like, okay, I see this. Then I started going back and listening to old Wayne, and I was like, okay, I missed out on some things, but it's not too late. And then I like my own musical discovery was kind of like I was talking to my friends, find out what they was listening to. I got really heavily into Childish Gambino, and then I was going to like I was going to like rap websites and looking at best albums from such and such a time period, and I was just like downloading things, listening to them. So that's how I really found out about like I already knew of Wu-Tang, but listening to them like individually and Most Def and things like that. So
How important do you think it is as an artist to like basically like do your research? Because you know, in different fields, like you have to do research and things. And artistry, I think that's something important too. So how important was that to you?
to me, I felt like it was important and because I had already done the research, it wasn't something I felt like I had to do. I feel like it's just something you should want to do, like when you participate in the art form. Besides the fact that you could find inspiration from anywhere. Like I could listen to something that came out in 1984 and be like, okay, like as much as we've evolved from this time, it might be something that was said or something that sounds kind of cool. I might want to incorporate into something. But it's also like it's important to know where you came from in any like field that you do or in anything that you participate, so you can give props to whatever inspirations came out of how you are, because there's always steps into getting into where things are. Um, and I feel like people like to be like, oh, well, this person started this, but they might bring up something that came out in like 2007, and but there were people doing this already in like the 90s. And so I think in any artistic thing you do, it's important to know where stuff came from.
Right. So why Paragon Don? Give us a background on your name.
Me and Hollow were I did a song on his album Valor Maverick that he released in high school. I think the only place it's on is Bandcamp now. Um, it was called Sit Back and Enjoy. And he was like, well, if I'm gonna put this out, you need a name. And I was just looking at the dictionary for words, and I seen Paragon, and Paragon is like the epitome of something, or like the upper echelon or something. So I was like, all right, well, Paragon Don kind of, it's kind of smooth. So that's really all that was.
Was this your first name selection, or did you go through different names?
That was like the first one. It's
Wow,
stuck with me ever since.
wow, that's dope. Cause I know normal artists they go through like 7 or 8 different name changes until they find that one. That's dope though. So just talk about your growth as an artist. I read another article. So you started around 2015, but just talk about your growth from then to now.
Uh, well, I think the first, like I said, the first song I did, Sit Back and Enjoy with Hollow. I mean, the one from the growth aspect, I just don't think that song was good, or at least the verse on it, my verse on it was good. And then you could tell like it was my first time doing anything. Like I was listening to like the flow on it, and I was like, ew, like this is disgusting. Like, um, but just hearing like finding new flows and different subject matters and finding new ways to say certain things, and like even if you are doing kind of similar talks, kind of like how Pusha T and Freddie Gibbs and them, like they might rap about the same things theoretically, but they find different ways to present these same things. So it was really about trying to find a way to do that if I'm gonna be trying to be as myself as possible. um and then just trying to like um find new. I think flow was one of the biggest things for me, because I didn't want to like sound the same on anything. I wanted to be able to rap on different types of things. So like with the 2 Minutes or Less project I dropped with Jill B, like she has um the um the like the pockets and the beats are so like they're very interesting. It's like very good beats, but it's kind of hard to find places to fit. And I found that fun to try to find places to put that. And I think that kind of helped with when I wanted to rap on other things. It's like, okay, well, I don't have to do I could try to put stuff somewhere else.
Yeah. So and since you made your first song in 2015, do you look back on your childhood at a moment where it might have hit you and you was like, well, I may want to be an artist when I get older, or did it just spark then?
Uh, Probably. I mean, my brother was did music for a very short amount of time, very short. But and he had my cousin and I do like a hook on one of his songs. So I was like, huh, that's kind of fun. I didn't really like think about it anymore after that. But then um because Hollow was really into it, and I just seen like the work they like. We was seniors in high school, and this man had like merch, and people was buying the merch, and he was performing at like talent shows, and like people was like singing the songs. I was like, this is really cool. And like I would hear him play beats at the crib, and like I could like imagine myself rapping to some of them, just because I was listening to things, and I was like, okay, well, like I felt like because I listened to so much music, I at least knew what sounded good to me. So I was like, okay, I might be able to see this.
Right. So, and talk about real quick, like newer artists, when they first get on the scene, get recognized, they shy away from they may be good lyricists, but they shy away from that to try to make a catchy song. So what made it where you can make a catchy song and still obtain your lyrics in your music?
Like to me, it was just like I want to rap like how I would listen to it. Like I think anyone who like does any type of art can kind of be, you know, yeah, they may be kind of iffy on their own stuff, kind of because it is your own stuff. Um, like even like yeah, I'll listen to something like a lot when I first record it, and then when it's released, I kind of like, all right, well, this is released now, so now I have other things that I can kind of do. I'll probably really love it. It's just I might shy away from it a little bit just because okay, it's already out. I'm gonna let the people decide this at this point. But um, it's just like I knew what I wanted things to sound like, and I knew what type of music I would want to listen to. Um, so of course I enjoy my music that is more like sound based and beat based and kind of catchy, but I also enjoy my lyricism here and there. And but I mean, my favorite stuff is being able to combine those things. Um, so I knew I wanted to do that as best as I could.
When did it hit you? When did it hit you? It's like, damn, I'm really good at this. Like, I can make great music. When did it hit you?
Um, Probably after last year local came out, honestly. Like a lot of like just the reviews on that and how much people were like I knew it was good. But just like the way that people um were coming up to me and talking to me about it, like they were talking to me about how much like that album impacted them and things like that is what was crazy to me. Is like people were talking about the impact that it had on them. I was like, all right, well, and then also like the fact that my parents like my music is very funny. It certainly means a lot to me. Um, like my mom would be like, "Oh, when did this come out?" Or I really like this video, and I'd be like, "I didn't know you was gonna look at that." Because I was scared to show them for a while, and then eventually I think they just found it, and then they were like, "Oh, well, yeah, this is nice." And then my dad would just like randomly play music in the house, and then I'll be like, "Oh, I didn't know you was okay." And he'll come to shows and stuff. Like we had a show at Bull's Tavern, and he just happened to show up after he got off work, and I just like I didn't expect to see him at all. He was like, I was just like, "Oh, well, I didn't. All right, that's cool." So it's nice to have um, support around you. My brother loves it, and then like you know my family that talks to me about it. So knowing that there are people that closest to me that mean to me enjoy it, it makes it easier to kind of keep things moving.
So you ever been woken up on a Saturday to clean up and it was your music playing in the background?
It'll really just be more like my dad will get home from work and he'll just like lay on the couch and just play music, and then I'll just hear like I'll hear a lot of different types of things, but then I'll hear my voice and I'll be like, "What is that?" And then I'll be like, "Oh, that's that song." Like I okay.
That's pretty dope. That's dope. That's dope. So take us through your creative process. Like, what's a creative day for you?
Um, if anything, I feel like I really just have like creative phases. Like it'll be like months. I may not really record anything or write anything, just because I don't really like forcing myself to do anything. Now, people ask me to do like features and stuff. I'll, you know, do what I got to do for that. Um, and as far as like my own stuff, it'll really be like I might just get a bunch of beats and then record like 6 or 7 songs in like a 2 week period, and then I might not look at really anything else after that. A lot of the things that I released last year, I recorded like 2 years ago, just because I already had it like in the tuck, and I was in like a creative phase where I just had these beats, and I was like, all right, well, let me go ahead and just knock out as many things as I can. Um, so I really just like it'll be sometimes where I'll hear a beat and I'll be like, all right, well, I already know what I need to say this. Or I already know what type of thing or vibe I want to have on this. And then I'll just kind of like freestyle a little bit and I'll be like, all right, well, then I think I know how I want to flow on this. And I think once I figure out the flow, writing is kind of easy. Um, once I find an opening line, writing it is kind of easy. Um, and then some songs I may have the beat for ages and just sit on it, and then I'll come back to it for a little bit, and I'll be like, I may not like the way it sounds. So then I'll come back to it a little bit. I might like send it to somebody and be like, hey, what do you think about this? Or like would you want to get on this? Things like that. So it's kind of what that looks like to me.
So are you a clear the room creative, or you don't mind people being around you? How are you with that aspect?
I don't really mind people being around me when I create stuff or like when I record. I've had people like ask to sit in when I record things, and it doesn't like mean anything to me at all. It's really just like steady. We've been doing like recording sessions together and trying to do a steady tape. So we've been writing things together or working on songs together. So that's definitely been really cool. Um, and then and then recording is just like, it's whatever. Ad libs are funny, and when people are in the room, because they can't hear what you're listening to, and it just sounds like you're just making noises randomly. But other than that, yeah,
Let's talk about your growth as a performer as well, like from your first performance to like where you are now.
I think the biggest thing is movement and eye contact. Um, I think when I first performed, I just kind of wanted to just sit and then like not really looking at anybody because I was so focused on trying to remember what the hell did I say. Uh, and then as it progressed, it's kind of like, okay, well, I can move around a little bit. I can interact a little bit more. I can, um, I don't have to, I like, because I have way more music now, I can perform different songs. I can cut this off in this different part. I can slow this part down and do this way. I can, um, I can do feature songs and only do my part. Like it doesn't, it don't have to be just the track and then that's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of one of the main things. It's really just like a confidence thing. Like, you go when you first start out as an artist, it's very rare that you're doing like hosting your own shows. So like usually you're performing with other people. So people aren't necessarily coming to see you. So it's like, okay, I have to get these people on my side first. Um, and that's one of the bigger things. And it's like, well, if I've never really performed before, I don't really know how this is gonna go. Um, then eventually, like you build a fan base, people know the words to your songs, and then it's like, okay, well, if I can get these people, I can go somewhere else and they not know me, and then I know I can get them because I got them, and I have way more stuff to work with. So, I just think confidence and is one of the bigger things.
Just talk about your music videos, like your inspiration from those. Like, where did that come from?
Most of that is I would say Bosch. I definitely like will come to him with a song and I have a vague idea of something. I'll be like, hey, I want to do a video for this. I can kind of see it being like this. But just let me know what works for you. And then he'll be like, all right, well, I'll write like a treatment up for it. And then I kind of just let him work. Um, so that's kind of what happened with that. 30 was one of the few ones where I actually kind of had like set ideas for it. But then Bennett and Bosch worked on like together. Bennett was like the creative director for it. So we did that in like one of the offices that he works in. And then the other part we actually did in his crib. He kind of set up everyone how they wanted them. So I definitely try to let those people do what they do. I'll give them just ideas, and then it's like, all right, well, you do what you do because I don't want to mess that up. Like Slick Jordan Woods, like I told Bosch, like, hey, I think I want me and David to be like undercover cops or something. Um, and then he just kind of was like, all right, well, um, you know, I got you.
Or how important is it to you to connect with other artists in different areas in different states, like networking?
Um, I feel like it's certainly like I feel like it's an underappreciated aspect. I feel like a lot of people really try to um do a lot of things on their own, or they try to secretly like limit people from doing the things that they want to do. Like people really try to like hurt other people's chances on getting things in the name of getting themselves places. And I feel like I try to live by like what Issa Rae said, like you want to work across instead of up. Um, because it's so much easier to work with people are on a similar level to you, or even what you may consider lower than you, and kind of building up together, than trying to reach up as high as you can and like hope someone else will pull you up from wherever you are. Because one, I mean, I feel like cosigns only get you so far. Like it's like people will pay for these big name features and then you won't really hear much from them after that, because it's only so much a big name feature can do for you, or what you may consider a big name. Um, like at a certain point, like if you get to a certain level, like if it ain't Drake, then and it's only so much like a cosign can really get you. Like so, I think it's more important to just try to find a collective or find like groups of people who have similar mindsets as you, and then just kind of come up as you can.
So if I take your collective of music and I just pick up a random stranger and play them your music, what do you want them to come from that listing with, or that mindset after that?
I want them to feel like it was genuine. Like I want them. I mean, I want them to feel like it was good, of course. But I definitely, the main thing I want people to feel is genuine. Like the playful lyrics, the the metaphors, the just like the verbiage that's used. Like I want people to be like, okay, like I can see this. Um, I definitely don't want people to take away. I think the last thing I want people to do is listen to something and be like, okay, this is good, but I don't think this is him type thing. Um, so yeah, that's kind of the main takeaway that I want people to have.
Word. So we reached the end of the interview. Um, my favorite number is 7. So I like to ask people 7 rapid fire questions. You got 3 seconds to answer the question, each question.
I bet.
All right. You ready?
Sure.
Your favorite fast food?
Zaxby's.
Your favorite artist?
Saba.
Your favorite liquor?
Uh, Riesling. I'm sorry, Riesling.
Your favorite candy?
I don't really eat that.
All right. Your favorite book?
Um, One Piece.
All right. Your favorite movie?
Shawshank Redemption.
And your favorite anime?
One Piece.
Okay. How do you watch One Piece, man? It's way too long.
See,
Way too
I
long.
know. It's like I had already watched Naruto, and Naruto was kind of long. And I was like, all right, well, if I can get through this, I can kind of get through this. Like my friends were always telling me about One Piece. And it wasn't that I didn't think I would like it. It's just like, well, like kind of like how everybody else is. Like, this is long.
Yeah.
But we was in like quarantine and I didn't really have nothing else to watch anyway. And so I was like, all right, well, let me go ahead and watch it. And it quickly goes from this has too many episodes to this doesn't have enough episodes. So I was 200, 300 episodes in, and I was like, like at a certain point, like I'm gonna have to, like the episodes are gonna end, and I don't know what I'm gonna do. I remember getting to episode like 900 or something, and I'm like, this is going like I'm almost caught up, and I remember having to stop and start picking up on reading it, and then I started reading it, and then now I wait for weekly chapters, like the chapter leaks to come out like every Thursday or Friday, and I'm like, I cannot believe this has got me hooked this much. So yeah, it's I feel like for people, I definitely understand why someone would not watch it. but I think once you do, it's usually good. I'd usually tell people if you watch it, I'll watch up to like episode like 44. If you don't like it past 44, you're not gonna like the rest. Like a lot of people be like, it's not gonna get good until episode 200. Like, nah, it's a lot of good stuff in there. But if you don't like it, if 44 don't hit you, or like the stuff from then, from the beginning to that, is the rest of the show not gonna do much for you.
I think I'm on like episode like 37, something like that. Yeah, I think so. I keep
It's
saying
like,
I'm gonna catch up.
you almost done with Arlong Park. So
Yeah.
like, if you get to the end of Arlong Park and you like, yeah, like you probably not gonna like the rest of it. But if the all that stuff like hits for you, you'll love the rest of the show.
What? I'm gonna try it. Well, man, like I said, we reached the end. This time is yours. Promote anything you want to. Let people know where to follow you, everything like that.
My name is Paragon Don, Paragon Don 605 on all the important social media platforms: Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. That might be my name on Tumblr. Um, I just released For the Love of Christ, entirely produced by Christianity. Shout out to him. The $30 video is out, shot by Bosch and Bennett Twisted Insanity on Instagram, Bosch and Novart on Instagram. We got a couple steady shows coming up. So we got a show, Southside Big Garden on 422. And of course, we do have our second annual Juneteenth Jubilee show at Sika again. So last year, that was a very big thing for us. So, y'all can come out again.
Well, we appreciate you coming on the show, man.
Again, I appreciate you for having me.
Most definitely, most definitely.